voter fraud as a result of aliens illegally voting is significant. Now, you may recall that Judicial Watch was talking about the NVRA case that we settled with Los Angeles County in California that is going to require Los Angeles County to remove up to 1.56 million inactive voters from their rolls. These are voters who haven't voted for a long period of time and have been listed as inactive. And when you have, but they shouldn't be on the rolls because anyone can show up and vote using their names, even though they have been inactive for years. It's a recipe for fraud, and that's why federal law requires the states to take reasonable steps to clean up the rolls, and that's why LA County, because the law is on our side, agreed to settle with us. So that's a massive victory. Now, does that mean it will knock off illegal aliens who are on the rolls or aliens who are not supposed to be on the rolls off the rolls? I don't know. We don't know that. But we should be concerned that these aliens are voting in large numbers in a way and engaging in voter fraud, or if they're not knowingly engaging in it, it's resulting in voter fraud and resulting in stalling votes for American citizens. There were two big events in the last few weeks. Out of Texas, the Texas government announced they had reason to believe there were upwards of 100,000 aliens on the voting rolls who weren't supposed to be there, and upwards of nearly 60,000 of them have been voting in elections over the years. In Pennsylvania, there was a number that was generated grudgingly by the Pennsylvania bureaucrats who had been trying to cover it up, that 11,000 aliens were on the voting rolls. Not clear about the voting activities of those individuals. But it certainly is confirming of the concern that aliens are voting in large numbers in a way, or large enough numbers in a way, to impact elections. Now, what is the left's response to those astonishing Texas numbers that show about, that detail the alien voting fraud crisis? Oh, the numbers may not be as high as first estimated, because some of those individuals may have later become citizens and they may show up on the database showing them to be non-citizens, but they've perfected their status and they're now citizens and they're eligible to vote. Hey, that may well be the case. Or Texas could have underestimated and not picked up enough of the names. We don't know one way or another. But let's say the left is right. Let's say it's not 60,000 aliens illegally voting. It's 30,000 aliens illegally voting. Is that too many? What about 10,000 aliens illegally voting? Is that too many? What about 1,000 aliens illegally voting? What about 100 aliens illegally voting? I tell you what about one alien illegally voting? It may be too many if it's your vote that's canceled out as a result of that illegal alien voting, whether it be in Texas or nationally. Now, there's a study out of Old Dominion University that the left hates, and they've been trying to blow up, but without success. Essentially, as I said, there are millions of detailing that aliens are registering in large numbers, and portions of that alien population that's registered to vote are voting illegally. And their analysis was it changed the outcome of a key race in the Senate in Minnesota that put Al Franken into office, who was the deciding vote for Obamacare and the stimulus package and things like that under President Obama. And it resulted in North Carolina going towards North Carolina going into President Obama's column during the 2008 election. Didn't necessarily put him over the top, but it gave him one state he otherwise would not have had based on aliens voting. And the Old Dominion study found that more or less 80% of aliens who vote for Democrats. So Republicans get illegal votes too, but only 20% of those voting illegally who are aliens. And again, these are not necessarily all illegal aliens. These are also aliens who are lawfully present. And voter ID is not going to pick up that problem or stop that from happening. Because if you're registered to vote, many of these aliens have the necessary ID to vote. And of course, most states don't have voter ID. So what I did was I looked at that Old Dominion study and I found, extrapolating the numbers to 2016, that about 1.1 million voters illegally voted for Hillary Clinton. And these voters were aliens. Now, do I know that exactly happened? No, but based on that study, the numbers would be about 1.1 million. And in the new 2018 midterms, the elections that put the Democrats in control of the House, gave some more Senate seats to Republicans, the numbers would be, based on that study, I would guess around 900,000 aliens illegally voted. Again, overwhelmingly in large numbers for Democrats. That's a voter crisis. That's a voter fraud crisis. And the Texas numbers show that there's a major issue that needs to be addressed, not only in the state of Texas, but nationally by the Trump Justice Department. And if I were President Trump, I'd get on the horn right now and call the Justice Department, or maybe wait a day for Bill Barr to be confirmed, and call Bill Barr once he's Attorney General and say, hey, Mr. Attorney General, this needs to be job one. We need to protect the civil rights of tens of thousands of Americans whose votes are being stolen. This is the civil rights question of our era here. It's not voter suppression, which is a made-up threat by the left to attack voting integrity laws. It's voter fraud. And these numbers, you can't ignore. And the government can't ignore it. Now, Judicial Watch is going to do what it can to investigate what's going on in Texas and Pennsylvania. Obviously, we got this big deal going in California. But again, why is Judicial Watch doing all the heavy lifting? Why are we doing all the heavy lifting on this? Where's the Justice Department? They're a little bit better than they were under Obama on voting integrity issues, but not nearly as active as they need to be, given the fact that the Justice Department has been asleep at the wheel at the behest of the left that wants to undermine voting and election integrity. Because I'm convinced the left wants to be able to steal elections if necessary. Now, the Texas, obviously, you've got this enormous number of aliens voting illegally, potentially, and all of this is an indication of why we need stronger border security. It's also an indication of why we need, dare I say it, citizenship verification in order to register to vote. Because currently you register to vote in federal elections, you just affirm you're a citizen. Well, no one's checking you. They just, in theory, you could commit a crime by you are committing a crime if you sign up to register to vote, say you're a citizen when you're not. But how's that being checked? There should be citizenship verification. You should be able to confirm your citizenship in order to vote. That's a simple issue.